Thank you, Acting President. I rise on behalf of Legalise Cannabis Victoria to speak to the motion number 70, standing in my name. We are seeking the support of this chamber for a parliamentary inquiry to be conducted by the Economy and Infrastructure Committee into the potential for industrial hemp to sow the seeds of Victoria's future. Let's shine a light on this ancient, much misunderstood, incredibly versatile, resilient and sustainable crop and explore its potential. A hemp industry is not new. Hemp is one of the first plants to be spun into fibre many thousands of years ago, 8,000 years ago in the case of the decorative rope in Taiwan. For centuries, rope, fabrics and industrial materials were made from hemp fibre. Hemp was commonly used to make sail canvases. In fact, the word canvas is derived from cannabis. But when marijuana was banned as an illicit substance across much of the globe, industrial hemp was caught in the same web, and its use dissipated despite it remaining so fundamentally useful. Fast forward to today, and we are seeing a hemp resurgence globally, but also a great untapped potential. Australia legalised industrial hemp production at the same time as Canada. However, in Canada, the hemp industry is worth $587 million, with projections reaching $2.4 billion by 2030, while our national farm gate here in Australia is worth $15 million. So we can see that industrial hemp is a multi-million-dollar industry internationally. Specifically bred for seed and fibre production, hemp is not psychoactive and it uses as many and varied uses that include food, oil, paper, bioplastics, animal fodder, biofuel, construction materials like hempcrete and much more. In fact, hemp seed is higher in protein than beef. And in modern textile production, the woody fibres of hemp blend well with many and other fibre types. Hemp fabrics are stronger, more absorbent, more durable and better insulation than common cotton fibres. In fact, my outfit today is completely hemp. Thank you. I think I look quite lovely in it too. And as I was putting it on this morning, I so discovered with the labelling that it is also UV protectant, which is pretty amazing for the Australian economy and climate. I also just want to talk a little bit today about this morning I hosted a few of the hemp industry's greatest. We've had some people here who are producers, who are innovators in this industry, so we were able to showcase things like hemp carpet, hemp fibre and fabric. We had part of the plant here that shows you the stalk, which would show you the outside of that material is the strong fibre, the internal of that is the hurd, and then you obviously have seeds. So it's a whole of plant that can be used, that is so durable and robust, but grows within 100, 120 days. In fact, one of the producers that we had here today can guarantee within 100 days you have enough fibre to build a house. Now, when we are talking about the fact that an industry has completely shut down or is shutting down when it comes to old growth forests, I think that we can offer a viable alternative, and I'll talk more about that in a little while. But let me come back to hempcrete because I'm pretty excited by hempcrete. It's an incredible and very durable product, but it also offers a future of sustainable building. Hempcrete is recyclable, it's non-toxic, it's fireproof, it's biodegradable, it is mould and humidity resistant, and it has excellent acoustics. One of hempcrete's most exciting features is the way it is crack resistant under movement. Now, as we've just experienced another earthquake, I dare say that we might be exploring new alternatives in building around construction and particularly around earthquake-prone areas. And just taking that point back to being fireproof, the resistance of hempcrete is for 4 hours, it can withstand 1800 degrees Celsius temperatures. Now, Australian bushfires are devastating to the communities, and to offer an alternative building material that can provide that assurance and may even result in your house still standing after a fire has been through your property is pretty impressive, if I do say. And it's something where we should be really pushing forward and investigating all the opportunities we have here, particularly as we have a housing shortage and we're having a change of industry around the forestry industry. Hemp also has immense environmental potential. Hempcrete uses minimal water and does not rely on pesticides, making it a popular and economical choice for building and construction. The environmental benefits of industrial hemp don't stop there. It is capable of absorbing more carbon dioxide per hectare than any forest or almost any other commercial crop. Not only is hemp a super absorber of carbon dioxide, it is a replenisher of soil. It also grows at an incredible pace. As I mentioned before, 120 days to reach harvest. Once it is ready for harvest, 1 acre of hemp can, for example, produce just as much paper as double the amount of much slower growing trees, and gets there in a much less quicker time frame. It's hardy and resilient. Hemp can grow on land unsuitable to other crops and can weather many environments, making it a potentially powerful plant in the Victorian climate. We acknowledge the work of the Victorian government in climate action and emissions reduction in Victoria, and we hope that industrial hemp can be a powerful tool for the fight against climate change, as hemp's rapid growth enables it as a sequester carbon to sequester carbon at a rapid rate. And just on my point that I touched on earlier around the government's announcement to end native logging in Victoria, and I know that many of my colleagues have been very passionate by this discussion this week, but what I'm trying to bring here is an opportunity, and fibre production can pivot. So we do have an opportunity to consider industrial hemp as a viable alternative. With hemp, our state can meet the growing need for building materials and fibre pulp. And broad support for this industry will help us kickstart a new era in Victoria's fibre future with a boost to industrial hemp. All around the world, we see the hemp industry re-emerging and flourishing, but we in Victoria are really lagging behind. This can create jobs, it can stimulate the economy, and it will support the environment. With the immense versatility, resilience and sustainability of industrial hemp in mind, its rapid expansion nationally and internationally is not much of a surprise. What is a surprise is that despite the growth and versatility of this industry elsewhere, right now in Victoria there are 6 growers cultivating a total of 169 hectares. At Legalise Cannabis Victoria, we have had the opportunity to meet with the industry groups and a number of stakeholders in Australia's agricultural and hemp industry. We have heard that Victoria has immense potential for an expanded industrial hemp industry, but also that this industry and its immense potential are overlooked, under-supported, and suffer from a confusing regulatory environment. We know hemp has huge utility and versatility, so what we are asking the committee to find is some answers to some important questions. How does the Victorian industry stack up? Where are the barriers? How big could a Victorian hemp industry become? Can it help us meet our emissions reductions targets? Should we be cutting the red tape? Should we be incentivising investment via a grant scheme or something similar? These are important questions that we believe are best answered by a parliamentary inquiry to expand on the work of the Hemp Task Force in the last term of government. Let's examine what other jurisdictions are doing and hear from the experts. Let's find out what an expanded hemp industry could mean for the Victorian economy, Victorian jobs and Victorian emissions reductions. Given industrial hemp's huge potential, seemingly untapped in Victoria, let's see if we can sow the seeds for Victoria's future. Thank you.